Welcome to the Hudson Show. Coming up, I paid money to get attacked by an ostrich.
Also, what are the best fast food fries without sauce?
All that and more on the way next. Allie, hello.
Hello.
Welcome back from the weekend.
Yes, welcome back to you too.
How was your Thanksgiving weekend?
It was good. I won't say it was great.
Mm-hmm.
There was a certain thing that we will talk about, I'm sure.
Oh, don't get me started.
Yeah.
I've got an hour of the show blocked out for some certain sports that took place over the weekend.
Yeah.
But outside of that,
everything was great.
nothing. Did you do anything as interesting as me?
Didn't go to North Carolina, but I had a great time with family and really enjoyed some great food, obviously. So I would say it was a really, really fun weekend. Even played pickleball in the cold weather.
Oh, outdoor pickleball.
Outdoor pickleball with the little cousins. They were having a great time.
Some families have the traditional football game for Thanksgiving. Allie's family, pickleball. That's how you know.
It might be a new tradition for us.
Yeah.
Who knows?
It might. It's the fastest growing sport in America. It might become a tradition for many. All right. Well, I went to North Carolina. I did. It is true. And I did do one particularly interesting thing while I was there. And yes, this will become a vlog on the @HudsonRadioU TikTok one day. I went to a drive-through safari in North Carolina. I didn't realize this, but in North Carolina, the rules for owning exotic animals it's kind of like the Wild West. You can basically do whatever you want.
Oh, no. So this is like a privately owned thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like alluded to, if you watch Tiger King, this is along those lines. Like, I think one of the people, not the Tiger King, but one of the people in that show is very controversial. I think he was in North Carolina. This wasn't that guy's ranch. But it's like the similar vibes of like, if you can have these like animals, you can just have them and you can do whatever you want. So there was like lions and other tigers and other large cats. And it's like, I don't know, like me going or not going is not, I don't know if they're treated well. I don't know. But I also wasn't in charge of this. But I'm glad I went because I got to do some interesting things. Not only was it a drive-through safari, which I'll acknowledge in a moment, but it was also like you just bought these cups of feed and you could feed almost anything in there.
Okay.
Like they had some things that were set back where you can't feed these and there was like space between you and where they were. Mm-hmm. But then there was some where you could just go up and feed them through the fence. Kangaroos. I got to feed kangaroos. I didn't know you were allowed to do that. At our real zoo here, you're allowed to walk through, but you're not even allowed to touch them. You're not allowed to get close to them.
Yeah.
Even though you can walk through their enclosure. At this zoo, I could feed the kangaroos. I'm glad I got to do that.
This zoo that's privately owned by some individual.
They were super. I love the kangaroos.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You could also feed camels. The camels, you just have to see video of it. But all this, you do have to see video of this too. But then we get to the drive-through part.
Okay.
Which sounds like a dream, doesn't it? Like, oh, it's just like, I mean, you've been to Africa. Yeah. It's like, oh, I'm in Africa. I'm with all the animals driving through my car. No, it's not like that because all the animals, they also give you, to get the animals to come up to your car, they give you food or you're supposed to buy food to feed the animals in your car.
Yep.
But all the animals know this. And so they're all hoarding a horde of animals around your car surrounding. So you can't go anywhere. And the worst, and you know what? For most of like there's deer and like the bighorn sheep and like cattle of different varieties, oxen. That's all fine because they're pretty nice and respectful. It's like the birds, the emus are pecking at your face.
Yes. Emus and ostriches are no joke. They will come for your life.
They will chase you down and peck you through the windows of your car as you're like rolling them up to try to escape. And then there's a donkey standing in front of your car that won't move so you can't go anywhere. Like it's stuck. In cahoots with the emus so that they can torture you. So it's more of a nightmare than you might have thought.
So Hudson, you experienced your own version of the Great Emu War is what I'm hearing.
Yes, that's right. I was thinking more like the birds, Hitchcock, but yes, the Great Emu War. I understand why the Australians lost that. Yeah. Because the emus are no joke. Under no circumstances do you have to hand it to drug smugglers. However, it is impressive how creative they get to try to avoid being detected. I think we could all use a little bit of that mindset, that attitude in our lives. We'd all be a little better at our jobs if we had to be, on top of our game like drug smugglers have to be. Give this guy some credit for creativity. Raj Mathuru, who was recently caught last month trying to fly from LAX to Australia, but his luggage at the airport was flagged for certain irregularities. Upon further examination, it was found that some of the things in his luggage, including a cow pajama onesie, was dried stiff and covered in a white residue. What they found was his clothes, including the cow pajama onesie, had been soaked in meth. And that was how he was trying to smuggle it through. He's like, cow pajama onesie, normal clothing. Nothing to see here, right? If they see this on the x-ray machine. But apparently it was strange enough that he got caught. Apparently he's now out on a $10,000 bond, but awaiting a trial where he could be sentenced up to 10 years in prison.
Well, deservedly so. Obviously, don't smuggle meth. Not a good thing. But yeah, that is certainly a creative choice to try and get it through via cow costume.
I'm concerned. What do we know about this guy? Does he work for Chick-fil-A?
Oh, come on. That's it.
Is this the secret that this is what Chick-fil-A, when the cows are saying eat more chicken, how do they get us to eat more chicken? They've been lacing it with a highly addictive substance. And they've been doing this and they've gotten away with it for so long until today, until Raj was finally ratted out.
I'm not even going along with this joke. Meth is no joke. So I'm not even going along with this. This is ridiculous.
I don't know. How else do you explain Chick-fil-A?
It's just good. It's just good. Accept it.
There's nothing in life can just be good. There's always something dangerous about it.
It's just good. So
I think there's more to the cows than we know.
There's more to the cows.
There's more. There's something beneath the surface.
But they don't even serve cows. They serve chicken.
But they have to. They're cows. You know they're not real cows, right?
Yes, I know they're not real cows.
And so they get the cow suits. They transport them around, soaked in meth.
But
and then
we don't eat the cow.
Ring them out into the chicken breading. And that's how we all just can't get enough Chick-fil-A. Why do you think the lines are so long? Ask me another restaurant that has lines that long. There isn't any.
Yeah, because it's just good, okay?
Because it's dangerous.
No.
It's problematic. No. I think that the cows are behind it.
Well, the cows might be behind its success, but it's not because of methamphetamine.
Meth. The cows and the meth. It's the only explanation. Did you notice how the smile on my face was like 4 times bigger than normal today?
Oh, my goodness.
It's because I got a Packers blowout win on Thanksgiving, parlayed that right into an Ohio State loss to Michigan in the game on Saturday for the 4th year in a row. The last time Ohio State beat Michigan, Donald Trump was president. Wait a minute.
I thought you were going to say the last time that happened because Fox did put that on the screen, like the 4 years in a row. It was 1988 to 1991.
Yeah. And then what? Was it 2019 the last time Ohio State won?
Yeah, because they didn't play in 2020.
And you can count that as a win if you want, because I think Michigan basically forfeited.
They did. They had like 2 wins that whole year.
So if you want to call that a win, go for it. I don't think that's going to make a whole lot of Ohio State fans feel better today.
No.
I want to start with the flag planting because the Big Ten is now fined after Michigan players ran out on the field after the game, tried to plant the Michigan flag in the field, which we should have learned this from Baker Mayfield years ago. You can't plant a flag in field turf. Yeah, it just doesn't work. It doesn't hold. But they tried, and they were then stifled by not just the field turf, but also the Ohio State players got into some are calling it a brawl. I don't know. Did it feel like I've seen bigger brawls? It didn't seem like a brawl because it didn't seem like really any punches were being thrown. Right. There was a lot of tension in the game, so I'm not surprised that it spilled over into afterwards. But yeah, I wouldn't consider it a brawl. The Big Ten fined both schools $100,000 each for the situation. Which who even pay? Like the school pays that? Does that really punish anybody at all?
Right. It's kind of just I feel like it's just it's just something that they did, but it doesn't. $100,000 for both of these insane schools with crazy budgets for their football programs is really not that much.
It's nothing, and it upsets me though that it is even, because Ohio State clearly, like, Michigan wasn't doing anything illegal. Ohio State is the one that starts like getting into physical altercations, and then somehow Michigan's the one that gets pepper sprayed. So, which is they're investigating what exactly the use of pepper spray was going on there.
Yeah.
Especially because when you see the pepper spray, if you watch the full video, it is it's basically after everybody's kind of been separated,
right?
After they've already argued
useless.
twice.
Yeah, just seemed a little useless to go and to need that. But overall, a bad situation. You never want to see something like this. I mean, these are college players, but I will say this shows you how important this rivalry is. Mm-hmm. I was talking to somebody on Facebook who was kind of a person that is not from Michigan, not from Ohio, didn't really understand this rivalry, didn't really understand what exactly was going on, why people were so upset. And I told them, I was like, listen, this is basically like a religion for some people. This is bigger than football. And so, the person I feel bad, honestly, for in this whole situation was Jack Sawyer, who took the flag and kind of ripped it and threw it onto the ground. Because if you want to point at one Ohio State player that did everything he could for his team to win, yet they still didn't win, it's him.
He got a huge interception, and now he ends his Ohio State career without a win over Michigan. You can understand why he's upset.
Yeah.
But that all said, people, in the broadcast, you were watching the game and they're like, oh, you hate to see this disrespectful act. I didn't have a problem. There was many flag plantings that attempted to take place over the weekend. And I know now there's going to be a backlash against it. I love the flag planting. Keep the flag planting. Oh, it's disrespectful. They said in the thing, oh, so disrespectful. You know what's disrespectful? You went Ohio State 20 minutes without getting a first down.
Yeah.
That's disrespectful. Don't talk to me about planting the flag disrespectful. The way you played is disrespectful. And so I don't want to hear.
No. Okay, so here's the thing. If you watch that game against Ohio State, Michigan, here's the thing. I feel like there was certain things that Michigan did that you would consider to be underhanded in how they won. So I do feel like I understand why Joel and Gus were saying that, because obviously they were, it's not illegal to triple team. They were triple teaming Jeremiah Smith, who is the best player on the Ohio State team. Mm-hmm. But also they fouled him. They were so many penalties against Michigan, not only with pass interference, but, it's just that type of play. I hate it. And I feel like they need to incentivize more if for the other team, if they are such intentional, pass interferences, that was just, yeah. My thoughts are scattered right now because I am so angry as an Ohio State fan. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I feel like there were certain plays that Michigan did that I would consider to be underhanded. So I understand why they said, hey, this is a classless move. Don't do this.
I had no problem with it. I'm glad Michigan tried. I'm glad other teams did it too. And we've gone a long way on this already. We haven't even gotten to Ryan Day. So we're going to have to come back and address that. Now, I'm going to open up the Hudson hotline.
877-2-RADIO-U.
What should happen to Ohio State football coach Ryan Day? He's lost to Michigan. Is it 4 times in a row now?
4 times in a row.
4 times in a row. 5 years without a win over Michigan. What should happen to Ryan Day? I want to know, for you as an Ohio State fan, what do you think, first of all?
So I will say it's hard to defend Ryan Day at this point in time. I do really like him. Mm-hmm. I think he's a great guy. But obviously, this is what you come to Ohio State to do. You come to win championships for sure.
Yeah.
But you do come to help beat Michigan, the biggest rival that we have. And like I was saying in our last break, some people just don't get that. And that's because if you didn't grow up in this rivalry, it's really hard to understand that it really is bigger than football. Mm-hmm. It's bigger than the game that's being played on the field. So sometimes it's hard for coaches that come in to understand that and really, really get that. I think Ohio State as a team, as a school, has set up a precedence now that they just unfortunately have to follow. And Ryan Day is probably they're going to be he's going to be a victim to this. You know, he's going to be the next casualty, if you will. The last one that probably many remember is John Cooper. A great coach, won a lot of games, but could not beat Michigan. So it's just, I was thinking it while I was watching the game, and I'm just thinking to myself, Urban Meyer, can someone just convince him to come off of that Fox set and just walk over, take the headset and be like, Chip, I'm taking over. It's Urban Meyer right now. These are the plays we're going with, and just take over, you know?
Yeah.
So
actually, you know who in a sick way might be happy about this is Urban Meyer, because he doesn't have to deal with these expectations. And, you know, he obviously a lot of pressure at Ohio State. And so he can just sit back, and people have forgotten about his Jaguars failure of a season. Yeah. Because every year what is just reminded of, like, remember how good he was at Ohio State?
Dude, 7-0 against Michigan.
Yeah. Remember how Ryan Day can't win a big game? Remember how many Urban Meyer did? And he just gets to sit over there, take his Fox check, be fairly beloved.
I don't know about that. I mean, he's from Ohio, so that it means a lot to him, obviously. He was a guy that got it, you know, similar to Jim Harbaugh. He got it because he was from Michigan. But if you watch the halftime show on Saturday, he did not look too happy to be in the horseshoe, in my opinion. Yeah. He was not too happy. So I was just begging him to get off that Fox set and just head on over. It's like, can we please just find a coach who can beat Michigan? Jim Tressel, we know you just retired from Youngstown State. Come on back, man. Earl Bruce, are you still kicking? Get over here. We need you.
As a non-Ohio State fan, in fact, an Ohio State hater, I think Ryan Day should keep his job.
Of course you do.
Because I want him to keep losing. And I love this, too. I think I get more enjoyment out of Ohio State being mostly good and then losing to Michigan than I would if they just actually sucked, although I would enjoy that. But here's why I think you actually should fire, if you were smart, fire Ryan Day. And I know the tough thing is like, oh, who wants the job with this much pressure? Like, we can just get Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel's got NFL teams, which is lower pressure. Yeah. And also with NIL and the transfer portal and stuff, probably an easier job. I feel like he's more likely to do that. So I don't know who you're going to get. You're Ohio State. You have a lot of money. You can get somebody good. Think about this with Ryan Day. If he gets fired, he winds up at like what? Some MAC school. Let's say he winds up at, I don't know who's looking for a coach, but let's just say Akron. Is the rest of the MAC like, oh no, Ryan Day's here? No, because his advantage is that he has better players than everybody else in the Big Ten largely. And then when he plays a team that has equal players to what he has, in some cases like Michigan, not even equal players, he winds up losing. He's lost the big games over and over and over again against teams that have equal talent to his. Where at Ohio, and that's because he's at Ohio State, not because Ohio State has him. I mean, he's a good recruiter, but the players are still going to come to Ohio State, whether it's him or somebody else. And when you are not able to get the most out of your talent in the big games, that's a sign. I mean, also, look at Kyle McCord. Everybody wanted to blame him last year. Even me, I was like, oh, he kind of seems like he sucks. Yeah. No, he doesn't. He's been great at Syracuse. They won one less game than Ohio State did.
Yeah, and that's
he got scapegoated an entire season.
And that's what I said a lot to my friends and family that were like, oh, this Will Howard kid, he's just not good enough after we lost this Michigan game. And I'm like, I don't even know if you can fully blame Will Howard and Kyle McCord in the situations that you're talking about, because it just seems like the Ohio State is calling predictable play after predictable play that Michigan just knew what was coming. And they
don't even have Connor Stallions anymore. You don't have that excuse. You can't blame the referees. You're out. There's one common denominator.
It's Ryan Day.
Chad says, I love this discussion. Keep it up. Chad, we need to stop. Let's do our Monday tradition, the box office breakdown, looking at what made money and what didn't in theaters over the weekend. And I'll tell you what made money. The number one movie in America, and it made a ton of money. Moana 2, which just in North America alone, $135 million. It depends on the days you look at, because total now in North America, it's already made $221 million if you count like the whole Thanksgiving weekend. That is record shattering. It's currently made worldwide $386 million.
That's crazy.
In like 5 days.
I definitely did not think it was going to do that well. Like it wasn't on my radar at all. In all honesty, this Moana 2 film. But I feel like a lot of families create the tradition of going to see a movie during Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Because they're off school, and so it seems like, oh, that's the new movie to go see. Maybe some have already gone to see Wicked, so they didn't even, they went to go see Moana 2 instead. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's a shock to me that they did so well.
It is the biggest opening weekend for a movie on Thanksgiving ever.
Wow.
The next closest was Frozen 2, which made $125 million. And you have to think about how much people loved Frozen.
Right.
And all went out to see Frozen 2. And this made almost twice that.
That's crazy.
Which is absolutely insane. So that is your number one movie at the box office this weekend. You didn't see it, did you?
No.
Neither did I. If you saw Moana 2, let us know at 877-2-RADIO-U. It was just a big weekend overall at the box office, though, because Wicked was number 2. It still made, this is crazy, for the number 2 movie at the box office, $80 million.
Wow.
In its second week. And then Gladiator 2 made a respectable $30 million.
That's also impressive for that film.
Yeah, to come in.
What's the total for Wicked now?
In North America alone, $262 million.
Okay, because I feel like they should probably be on track for $1 billion club with the global totals.
I would have to say probably. It's going to get a lot of run here for the rest of the holidays too.
Yeah.
What did you see recently?
I watched a Christmas movie as I was just getting in the Christmas mood after Thanksgiving, so I watched Polar Express.
Oh, I never liked the Polar Express very much.
Really?
No, but part of that is because I don't like the animation. Yeah, Uncanny Valley stuff.
Moneybags was telling me that he doesn't like the animation style either. I feel like the animation of the objects and like the I don't even know what I'm...
Everything except the people.
Everything except the people looks still very, very good.
I think that's fair to say.
But the people do look a little creepy.
Yeah, the way the mouths move, not a fan of that. Also, I am possibly have a little vendetta against it because growing up, my family would always compare me to not the main child.
Billy?
Who's Billy?
Billy's like no, not the glasses kid. I don't know what that kid's name is, but he's the really annoying one.
The one that goes, lean, what does that mean?
Oh, yep, that's the kid with the glasses.
Yep, that's me.
Okay.
That's what my family said anyways. I watched a movie that made me very happy. It is another recent Christmas movie that I discovered only a couple of years, maybe last year, I don't know. Klaus. On Netflix. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, I have.
Norm Macdonald, Jason Schwartzman. It's got a good cast.
Got a good cast.
Not a big cast. There's only like 6 people actually, but
no, I thought that was a very good film.
Story, an animated story about the one thought about the origins of Santa Claus, which is very sweet and pretty funny. And actually, it seems like it's got a good message.
Yeah, it's got a good message. And I would say for animation style, we were talking about animation style with Polar Express. That's an animation style that I can get behind.
Yeah.
Very, very cool to look at.
It actually, I don't know if it is, I'm assuming, but like hand drawn, back to the good old Disney days.
Yep.
You got to love that. And, but yeah, actually, I thought the parallels were very noticeable between Klaus, where it's these 2 families on this island, right? Or this, far off, far-flung place that's very pretty, whatever. And they just can't, they argue all the time and they fight and nobody even knows why.
Yeah.
And then Ohio State played Michigan. I was like, I feel like everyone at this game fighting on the field now needs to watch Klaus.
Hatfield and McCoy.
Allie, pop quiz, hot shot. How many word of the years have been already crowned by dictionary so far in 2024?
I think we alone have talked about at least 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah. What were they?
I think we did Cambridge.
Which was the dictionary, not the word of the year.
Yeah, Cambridge.
What was their word of the year?
Oh, goodness. Now I can't remember. I think maybe theirs was brat.
One was brat.
Yeah. We just talked about one that was not from Cambridge, and I can't remember what it was, but they're all from England.
You're right. Most of them. This one is, right? I've got one more to add to the list.
Still waiting on Merriam-Webster, though.
Yeah, I haven't seen I did see, maybe this was Merriam-Webster. Somebody, we didn't talk about it, but named Demure. the word of the year.
I was waiting for that one to be used.
We had demure. We had whatever you said, brat. There's another one, and I think another one, and now Oxford Dictionary. All these dictionaries. You didn't know there were so many dictionaries until they started naming their words of the year. Oxford says that brain rot is the word of the year, which, first of all,
isn't that 2 words?
Yeah, right? Wrong.
Boo.
It's 2 words. Yeah, that's right. It's 2 words. You're a dictionary. You should know that. Unless you run them together. But brain rot it's 2 words.
Yeah, they don't even put a hyphen there.
No.
So
I mean, this is them saying this, not us. We didn't type it out.
Right. We didn't do this.
But they say brain rot is the word of the year. The Oxford University Press, technically not the dictionary, I suppose. They say the definition of brain rot: supposed deterioration of a person's mental or intellectual state, especially viewed as a result of overconsumption of material, now particularly online content, considered to be trivial or unchallenging. Also, something characterized as likely to lead to such deterioration. I'm not, is that definition accurate? But is brain rot a good choice? Is that an accurate choice for word of the year?
I feel like no. I don't feel like I've heard this that much compared to like demure or, brat. We heard a lot of brat summer and all of that stuff. So I don't know if I heard this enough to be what I would consider word of the year. I'm trying to find the one that we talked about earlier because I feel like it was a good one. Like I was like, oh yeah, this has been used a lot.
The one that we can't remember.
I can't remember what dictionary it came from.
Brain rot. I've seen more people talking about bed rotting, which does feel, I don't know, it feels like that was in 2023. Maybe, I don't even know. I do feel like brain rot at this time in our history could be an accurate word of the year for any year in this decade.
Yeah.
Where all of our minds are slowly decaying thanks to TikTok and Instagram and whatnot.
Yeah.
But,
wait. I'm seeing something.
Did we find it?
Is it The Economist that put it out? Did they say they have a word of the year?
Let's see. Let's do a race. Who can find the word of the year?
They're not letting me look at this article without a free trial.
Well, then we definitely didn't talk about that one.
Dang
Word of the year. I'm going to find this. I'm going to beat you to it. November 21st. Word of the year.
Was it Collins Dictionary?
This is great. This is...
They also chose brat. We're just both
Here we go.
Googling.
This is, this is fantastic. Enthralling radio. Everybody on the edge of their seat. What was the other word of the year you got? I found it. It was manifest.
Manifest. That's right. Because you were like, use it in a sentence, Alyssa.
Yes, that's right.
And I was like, what? I can't use manifest in a sentence. Not like not the original, at least.
I'll take brain rot over manifest. But I feel like I might take demure over either.
I choose demure over everything.
It's Fired or Hired on the Hudson Show. Whenever you have workplace issues that you need to work out, RadioU is here to help. If you're ready to give some advice on this situation, just chime on in at 877-2-RADIO-U. This is a person who going through what many of us may go through this holiday season, trying to get out of the annual company Christmas party. But this is a specific situation, so here we go. What excuse can I use to skip the office Christmas party? I work at a small company where the employees get to pick the day, event, and dinner, but I'm busy every Saturday in September. Or December.
I was like, whoa.
So they picked a Sunday.
Oh, no.
I have a week vacation out of the country this December. And that particular Sunday is my last day to rest and get my affairs in order and pack before I leave. I also just got 2 new cats, so I now have 4. And I'd love to spend some time with the animals I love and go over things with my house sitter before I leave. I have a million real reasons to me, but I know any reason I give will be met with, well, we thought you couldn't do Saturdays, not Sundays. Our parties also heavily rely on alcohol, so I feel like I don't want to be involved in that, and I can't believe people have to work the next day. What excuse can I use to get out of going to the office Christmas party?
Yeah, that's crazy to me that their office is planning a Christmas party on a non-work day.
Ooh, yeah, right?
You know, like you have to come in an extra day, especially if you have like a longer commute.
Yeah.
It means you're spending more gas money to do that. That's not great. But yeah, I sympathize with this person's situation.
Well, let's see if anybody creative has any ideas about what kind of excuse you can use to get out of this thing. I have an idea.
Okay.
I have an idea. We'll share it in a moment. 8772 RadioU. How can this individual get out of going to the office Christmas party that's not even on a work day whatsoever? Some good thoughts coming in. Shrew just simply says, say, I have other obligations that day.
I love it.
Similar to what Luke said, who says, say, I'm unavailable. But what if they say, I thought you weren't able to do Saturdays? Say, that's right, I'm not. I'm also not able to do that Sunday either.
Right.
I think that's good enough for, it should be good enough. Do you think the person's kind of overcomplicating this by, feeling like they have to come up with an excuse that's different from their Saturday excuses?
I feel like as a person that is also has struggled with saying no in life, saying no to things that I should have said no to.
Yeah.
Like I said, I sympathize with this person. And so I feel like for some people, it is hard to say, as Shrew put it, I have other obligations that day. It is very important to be able to learn to say that, or else you will not be able to say no.
I think that's very true.
Because I'm assuming it's a she or maybe a he, I don't know.
Just because of the 4 cats or why?
No, I just, because I feel like what is being said is very me. So I'm just like, it's giving me.
You're putting yourself in their shoes.
Yeah. So, but anyways.
Don't worry, we don't have a real Christmas party here.
No, I'm just thinking, but I feel like they listed off several things that already could constitute as excuses.
Yeah,
so
right.
why not just use those?
Yeah, no, you're right. They're overcomplicating it by trying to come up with some other reason. Regina says, let them know in advance you won't be able to stay long, but you'll come at the beginning for a bit. Blame it on an early flight. You're leaving the country the next day.
Yeah,
Surely
make a little
a
drop-in appearance. Be there for like 5 minutes. I've done that before because again, I can't say no.
That's a good idea. Rick also suggested that, and then he came up with the other idea that I had, which is, how about the 24-hour stomach bug as an excuse?
We've all used that.
That's what I was thinking of. And if you want to take it even further, you could start laying the groundwork. This is on a Sunday. You come into work on Friday, you're like, starting to feel a little sick.
Yeah, you start coughing in your cubicle.
Hope this sickness doesn't ruin my vacation that's coming up. I hope I don't have to miss the Christmas party. And then by Sunday, you just send out a group text. Hey, guys, sorry, I can't make it.
I'm feeling real bad today.
Yeah. Send a picture of you in bed with an old-timey thermometer.
With your 4 cats.
Yeah, with the 4 cats. I don't see how that is an issue.
Yeah, that would be, do that. Definitely.
Definitely do.
But I don't think she needs to, I don't think she, don't know
Whoever.
again. I don't think they need to lie. Just, you already have many valid reasons why you can't do this. Just give them those reasons.
It's an office Christmas party that we can't understate how ridiculous this is on a Sunday.
It's on a Sunday.
If it was so important for you to come to the party, they should have it during work hours.
Right. Why are they making people come in an extra day? Like, even if you can't do it during work hours, just stay an hour after a work day.
Or have it on a Friday night.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Just whatever you say, you're right. Just don't go.
Just don't go.
I did a lot of driving over the weekend. I'm sure many did. Well, I didn't do a lot of driving. I did a lot of passengering. My wife won't let me drive. She feels much more comfortable when anybody else but me is behind the wheel. Which is fine. That's fine. That meant on Saturday, I could just watch the Ohio State-Michigan game on my phone while she drove. So it worked out well for me. One of the things, and I don't know if they taught you this at your fancy university, but one of the things that I learned in broadcasting school is that you have to pass the average billboard, the average person, 21 times before you actually notice what it says. Now, there's exceptions, of course.
Yeah.
If it's a really good billboard that doesn't have a lot of information, it's very eye-catching. But the average billboard, you think about how many billboards you probably drive by every day, and how many do you know what they actually say?
Yeah.
Probably not many.
Not a lot.
And you're seeing them probably more than 21 times in your life.
Yeah.
I did see one for Dolly's Diner. It looked good when we were driving. So I noticed that one, but that was a good billboard.
Yeah.
More often than not, you're going to see, there's a bunch of billboards you're going to pass as you drive along any day, and you don't know what the heck they say. You don't care. And then maybe at the 22nd time comes along, you're like, oh, Geico. Yeah, I should get in car insurance. Maybe after 22 times. How often in life do we have like changes in our life that need to be made that we probably have reminders over and over and over again, and we completely miss them? It's just like a billboard. It's just standing there, plain as day for everyone to see, but so easy to ignore.
Yeah.
We come across that a lot in our own lives. And that's why I think it's important to have a relationship with God, because God is going to, maybe other people in your life might talk to you every once in a while. And every couple months, they're like, hey, you really should probably stop doing this. Maybe if you have a really good relationship with them.
Right.
If you have a relationship with God, He's there with you every day. And so He can be, if there's something problematic in your life, God can be there going, hey, don't you think you should stop? Mm-hmm. And you might not change the first time. But after 21 times and hearing that every day, it actually makes a big difference.
Yeah.
And that'll stop you a whole lot quicker than possibly other people would. Mm-hmm. I think that's huge. I think that's just one of the many things that God can do for you. It's not just about Him helping you live your life better and quitting some bad habits and things like that. It's also, working on your relationships and all the good things that God can do to pump up your day too. Jesus can do all kinds of great stuff for you. That's just one of the many. And if you want to experience that, all you need to do is say, hey, God, I want you in my life. I need some of those reminders. Honestly, I'd like to catch some stuff in my life sooner than later. I want your help with it. And He will. You want to know more? RadioU.com/free gifts. Allie, we had something else we were going to talk about, but this is more important. I'm opening up the Hudson hotline.
Okay.
877-2-RADIO-U.
We were talking off the air. I was telling you that in my travels to North Carolina over the weekend, I got to go to possibly my favorite fast food restaurant. I don't know if it's my favorite because I only get to go so infrequently, and so it feels special. But I got to go to Cookout.
Okay.
Cookout is a fast food restaurant that it gives the air that it is like possibly the most unhealthy fast food restaurant, but it also it just feels so much so home cooking. And you can order burgers and quesadillas and hush puppies and cheese bites all in the same place.
So just got everything.
Corn dogs and hot dogs, which is obviously important to me. They have everything, yeah, and it all comes served in aluminum foil and styrofoam, which is the way I like it. But then that led us to a discussion of which fast food fries So here's the question. Here's why I opened up the Hudson hotline.
877-2-RADIO-U.
What fast food fries can you eat without sauce?
Okay.
Because I don't think the list is very long.
Yeah.
So we can start crossing some off. We agree off the air. We said Chick-fil-A. You wouldn't want to eat those without sauce.
You got to have the sauce. You got to have something with them. Ketchup or the Chick-fil-A sauce. You need something. I feel like I would agree with that.
Wendy's.
No.
You have to have you need to Baconatorize them or honey mustard or something. Ketchup. You can't eat Wendy's fries plain.
Yeah, there's been some Wendy's fries that I've had recently where I've been a little disappointed in them, but I do feel like when they first launched these new fries that they did, they were really, really good, but sometimes it's hit or miss with them.
Yeah. Burger King, one of the famous ones.
Yeah, they're pretty bland.
They aren't good with sauce. Forget about without. Okay, here we go. We have Jeff. What kind of fries can you eat without sauce? Jeff is right. Arby's.
Oh, yeah, that's a good pick.
Yeah.
Curly
good
fries.
Choice, Jeff.
Yes,
that
we
is
approve.
Correct. The curly fries. Now, what's your opinion at Arby's? Curly or crinkle?
I think I like the curly more.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah.
We've had other people come through these doors that have said the opposite.
Oh,
and those
no.
people are.
Yeah, the curly just
completely
it has
wrong.
The right crisp, It's like falling apart in your hand. Like, it's so good.
Let's see. Speaking of crinkle, Cane's fries should not be eaten without sauce.
Without the sauce, yep.
Susanna says Rallies or Checkers. Have you had those?
I have not.
Rallies and Checkers. It's a restaurant that's kind of like really not worth going to.
Aww.
But their fries are, if you do go, the fries are nice.
I have heard
nice
about
fries.
the Rally's fries and how famous they are.
But you know what? It almost feels like they're cheating though, because their fries are seasoned.
Okay.
They're not just a straight up potato fry, a French fry, which doesn't. So I don't think that gets as high marks as like Arby's or McDonald's is another one you can eat without sauce.
Yes,
to me.
McDonald's to me is the number one that I would say is the one that if I was saying I ate a fry without any extra topping or whatever or dipping sauce, it would be McDonald's. That's the one I probably choose the most with my dollars.
Yeah.
You know, if you will. But doesn't mean that I like it the most. It's just the one that I more often get. But I will say, I don't think it's quite fair to say seasoned fries don't count because every fries are technically seasoned. They have at least salt on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deb also agrees, saying rallies, and Shrew says, this is wild. I can eat most fries without sauce.
Okay.
I mean, you can eat them. It's not like if somebody shoves Wendy's fries in my face,
you're not going to, right? Yeah.
But do I enjoy them? No, not without sauce. D says Storm's spicy curls. You ever heard of Storm's?
Mm-mm.
Me neither. Or Wingstop, which does have good fries.
Wingstop fries are really good. Those are also another highly seasoned fry, and you can get lots of different types of them. But I would agree, those are quite good. I just don't get them that often, you know?
Wingstop, it's almost not fast, or like it's at the line.
It's like Buffalo Wild Wings, you know, it takes a little longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'll get us out of here on this. Five Guys.
Five Guys fries?
Yeah.
You like them?
Without sauce.
All right.
Although I do like them with vinegar. And what sounds literally like a plot from a cartoon that you watched when you were a child, a 12-year-old has been found safe after he was hiding in a French village. He was from France, so it's not like he went all the way to France. But he was hiding. He claimed that he had been kidnapped, but the truth was he actually was just trying to find an excuse to get out of going to the dentist.
Oh my goodness. Some children are so creative, can I just say. But yeah, French police, they found this little boy hiding in a village called Saint Gervais, and they were questioning, like, what was he doing? Why was he hiding? He said that he was heading to the dentist appointment that he had, and while he was going there, he got abducted by this guy, and he gave the police a pretty interesting description, I have to say.
I'm looking at it, and it's he says the person who kidnapped him made him get into a car. It was a man that was European in his 30s and had a vertical scar on his face. Straight out of Central Casting, this guy.
Yeah,
you had to see him.
That just sounds like what a 12-year-old would describe. Yeah. It's like he's a villain. He's got a scar off his face.
You know, like in the movies when somebody kidnaps somebody, it looked like that.
The guy with the vertical scar.
Yeah. Just look for what you think a kidnapper would look like. You'll find him. But I understand. I don't want to go to the dentist. Fortunately, I'm an adult now, so I can just avoid it.
Oh, no.
Without having to make up stories. The only person I have to answer to is really me at this time and my future health.
Yeah.
But this child, I give him some credit for at least trying.
Yeah. He certainly tried, and the police were actually kind of believing him for a certain amount of time. For a month, they looked for a man with that description, which is hilarious to me that this kid got away with it for a month.
That sounds even more like something from like the Disney Channel.
Right. They spent police dollars, government dollars, tax dollars from France on this. And so, they grew suspicious after a month's time when they realized this seemed kind of fishy.
There's no people with scars in this town.
I'm shocked it took them that long, but they investigated, and I'm like, why did it take them this long to look at this? They investigated the area's CCTV footage and could not find any leads, and so they reapproached the boy for more questioning, and he finally did confess that he made up the story a month later.
To be fair to this boy too, like I really don't blame him for wanting to get out of a dentist appointment. And you think about the worst time to go to a dentist. Like as an adult, I should just go.
Yeah.
Why would I not go? These are the teeth I'm stuck with for the rest of my life.
Right.
I should take good care of them. But when you're like 12, they're going to make you wear braces. They're going to like give you cleaning. And it's like I guess maybe by the time you're 12, most of your teeth have fallen out. But like your teeth are going to fall out anyways.
Yeah, by the time you're 12, you have quite a few of your baby teeth gone.
But then you don't want to have braces. You don't want to go through that. So he's like, if I go, what's worse, getting braces and having to live with that for months or pretending to be kidnapped?
I bet you it's less about the braces or anything like that. And it's more about some people just genuinely have a fear of like the dentist, the drill sounds, all of that, the sucking, all of the stuff that goes on at the dentist. And dentists have been trying to recover from that fear for many years.
When you describe it that way, I think I might rather be kidnapped than go to the dentist in real life. Let's take a trip up to Canada. I just saluted. I don't know what I saluted. Canada. This story actually doesn't have a whole lot to do with Canada itself, except that it is a Canadian policeman who's making these claims. Allie, if a stranger knocks at your door, what do you do?
In all honesty, I look out the little peephole as quietly as I can. Like I've got the little, thing you can look out at the top of your door. And if I don't know who it is and I don't know why they're knocking, I probably ignore it.
Pretend that you're not home, right?
Yeah.
This Canadian police officer has gone viral on TikTok for saying that that's the worst thing you should do.
Oh.
Do not ignore a stranger at your door. That should be a rhyme. He didn't say that, but I'm saying it. Is what he is, I think, of effective way.
Effective term to learn.
This is a rule we should all learn. Do not ignore a stranger at your door. Because, he says, we see this all the time. Somebody knocks on your door. You don't answer. You pretend you're not home. And so they think nobody's home. And so they break into the house. He says daytime breaking and entering happens all the time. He says you should yell through the door, wave them off through the window, act like you're on your phone, because if they get inside your house, if they think you're not home, then they break in, then panic when you get in, when they realize that somebody's home, and things can get ugly fast.
Yeah.
And so you have to signal, even if you don't want to answer the door, you have to signal to them that you are home just in case they're a burglar.
Yeah. That's interesting. I had never heard that take before of how it can go wrong if you pretend like you're not home. I personally have not heard of this scenario taking place where someone has pretended not to be home and then the person tried to break in the house.
It's funny, too. He says literally they kick your door in. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know how common that is. So I think it's a bit of a stretch to say this happens all the time. I'd have to look into the actual crime stats to believe that. But I could see how this could be a problem. I know we've talked about previously how the police always warn you against saying when you're going on vacation on social media because burglars do take advantage of when a house is left empty.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, I had to do some clever things with my lights, leave them on while I was away this weekend to try to ward off any burglars just in case they saw the car with a flat tire sitting in the driveway and they were like, this looks like a house that probably has some goodies for me. We you know what, we came back and no burglars.
Yep, all good.
So I don't know. I do feel like it's probably the right thing to do. Like this, if it's a person that's not a burglar knocking at your door, right? And you try to wave them off or, show them that you're home, but not answer the door. That's actually a pretty boss move on your part. And then they'd have to have some pretty strong convictions to keep on knocking and go, no, buddy, you need to answer the door.
Answer the door right now. Yeah.
And if they're a burglar, they're probably just going to leave.
Yeah.
So, and then you can call and report them and say, hey, this person knocked on my door and then left when they saw I was here. I think they might be a burglar.
Right.
And actually help your neighborhood.
Yeah, that's true. You could be in the neighborhood crime watch or something like that. But I do feel like I'm safe from this ever happening to me because I live in an apartment and people usually don't try and burglarize apartments, especially because there's often at least someone around. And so maybe not in that specific apartment, but you likely will get seen if you're trying to break and enter.
Well, also, why burglars? Why even go through the trouble when there's so many Amazon packages just sitting out for you to porch pirate anyways?
Ooh.
Why even bother breaking down the door? By the way, Daryl, I don't know his qualifications, but he texted in at 8772 RadioU, and he says, this is true, and it happens a lot.
All right, Daryl, we believe you.
Yeah. Yeah, you didn't believe at first.
I didn't believe, but now that Daryl has given his side of approval, I believe him.
He's convinced you. Thanks for listening to The Hudson Show. Please don't forget to rate and review the podcast.